go.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me this afternoon for the PARCC workshop. By the time we leave here this afternoon, I hope that you have a really good understanding of the PARCC test that is coming up sooner than we know it, and you have an understanding about the scoring and how the scores are reported so that you can understand exactly what your students are going through, what your children are going to be exposed to, and then how the system is going to grade them. If you just focus your attention up on the board for a moment, I have a video here that'll do a great intro for you, and then we'll get into some of the data.
Soon you're going to receive reports showing how your child scored on the new state tests in English, language arts, and mathematics. The results for your child and your school probably look different than previous state tests because the tests are different. For some more rigorous and aligned to new learning standards, your state developed to better prepare your child and all students for the next grade and success after school, in college, and careers.
In addition to addressing fundamental skills and concepts, the test includes questions that evaluate vital skills your child is developing, like critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical writing, all important to your child's future success.
Students can show their thinking and the steps they take to solve problems, which provides more detailed information to inform instruction.
When you look at your child's score report, the first item you'll see is your child's overall performance on the English, language arts, or math test. There is a separate report for each subject. Your child's overall performance is reported two ways, a performance level score and a numerical score. You'll notice the scores are grouped into 5 performance levels. Educators have established these levels to mark the extent to which your child has acquired the knowledge and skills students are expected to learn in each grade. On the graphic, you will see where your child's score falls within this range. You and your child's teachers and school can use this information to make decisions about how to support your child and enhance instruction. If your child scores at level 1, 2, or 3, it means he or she has areas to focus on to strengthen his or her skills and to be better prepared for the next steps in their education. This first year, many students may score in this range as they become more familiar with the new standards and assessments. Students who achieve level 4 or 5 on the assessments demonstrate a stronger understanding of the grade level material and are well positioned for continued success in the next grade and toward college and career readiness by graduation.
Compared to many previous state tests, scores may seem lower, but that's not because your child is learning less or falling behind.
So you're going to see
it's
a difference
because
in
he or
the
she
scores
is
as
being
compared
tested
to
on new
NJ
material.
Ask,
It
but
has been
it's not because they're
identified by
lower, it's just the
educators,
ratings that
college
they're given
faculty,
based on the
and
new
business leaders
evaluations.
as essential for success in school.
In this first year of the new assessment, we're setting a new baseline. Student performance will improve in time as schools align instruction to the new standards and use information from these tests and other sources to meet your child's individual needs.
Below the overall performance section, you'll notice more detailed information about your child's performance on subject-specific skills identified by your state standards. These scores show how your child is learning these skills compared to students who are meeting grade level expectations in that area.
In this example, you will see information on reading and writing for the English Language Arts Literacy Assessment. The assessment has questions designed to evaluate specific reading skills, like comprehension of fiction and nonfiction text and vocabulary. Other questions evaluate writing skills, like organizing and developing a summary of reading material. This more detailed information is new and different than previous tests. It is meant to help you and your child's teacher better understand your child's strengths and weaknesses so you can be partners in helping him or her thrive.
Getting results from PARCC and getting these scores from PARCC allows me to be able to make sure that I address the needs of my students more appropriately and more effectively.
You might be asking, well, what can I do now?
First, talk to the teacher. The teacher will have a ton of information, will give parents ideas of ways to help their student if they're falling a little bit behind, or ways to continue to grow a particular skill.
If you find that they're struggling with math, I would engage them in everyday real-world applications as it pertains to math, with the measuring in the kitchen or with some of the household finances.
There are also many resources for parents online, like bealearninghero.org or the National PTA. Please also visit understandthescore.org for additional information about the score report and for links to your state education department website.
Please remember that the success of your child and all students is the ultimate goal of the new standards and assessments. We have every confidence that all students can succeed in school and graduate prepared for college and careers.
All right. I think that video does a great job of getting our feet wet for the park and what they're actually assessing for our students and your children. What I think we need to focus on is the testing is being done to make sure that we are assessing students on where they fall at the current grade level requirements. We want the students to be able to master the grade level standards so that they can move on to continue to build on those standards for the next school year. If we take a look at some of the reporting that we have averages. The state does an average, the district does an average. Sorry about that. The district has an average, and then PARCC combines all of their scores to come up with these average scores. So we look at them by grade level just to see how we're performing and how we can better our students throughout the testing. You'll see that the school is falling a little bit below the averages, and then this gives the teachers and the schools documentation and data to work with to move on for the next year and see what standards their students are not meeting and how they can help them get there. But if you look, with the data that you're seeing here in grades 3 and 4, you'll see that there were significant gains from one year to the next. So switching over from NJS to PARCC, you'll see that the score reports are different because the testing is different, because the skills are different. So what you can see is that we took information from our 3rd graders last year, we took information from our 4th graders last year. We were able to dive into that data and plan almost individual learning plans for each student based on the skills that they were deficient in. That's why you're seeing so many gains from 2015 to 2016. This is an example of the score report you're going to get at home. It has a lot of information on it. I think the best way to attack it is to just, kind of go right to the graphics and see where your child falls within that median score. There are 5 different proficiency levels, and if your child falls between levels 1, 2, and 3, that means that they still have some work to do within specific grade level standards. If they're falling within 4 and 5, levels 4 and 5, you know that they're on track to meet the expectations for that particular grade level. You'll also see in the bottom corner, they will compare your student to the different averages, the school average, the district, the state, and then cross-state averages. This is just information for you to have to see where your child falls within the levels, okay? This is that snapshot I wanted you to take a look at and really zone in on once you receive your child's score report, and you'll see which level you're there, and then they give you an explanation of what each level is categorized as. This you'll recognize from the video. This is where you were able to see how your student is performing, particularly in reading and writing. If you take a look, it breaks it down further to the literary tasks and the informational texts for English Language Arts. And for writing, your children are going to be graded on their written expression and their use of language conventions, with grammar and spelling, and how they are creating their writing piece, not just the answer that they are giving. All right, so this is a sample ELA question. I like this question because it really makes the students think. I apologize if the graphic is a little bit hard to see, but the students will have a passage that goes on with that. They'll read a story and then they'll answer the question. The way the PARCC is designed is they really want your children, to think about the things that they're reading. They want your children to finish a text, stop for a moment and say, why? Why did those things happen? What was the author trying to get me to learn from that passage? So the PARCC questions are designed to be part A and part B to do that, to make the students, to force them to go back and rethink. Part A, you're going to find the students are going to be choosing their answers, be like a basic comprehension question that we all asked when we were in school. And now for part B, they have to go back and they have to find explicit text evidence. So for here, which statement best describes what the picture adds to the story? They have to choose their answer for part A and then dig a little bit deeper. Okay? They're going to go ahead and they have to find the sentence from the story that supports their answer. Now the thing with the PARCC scoring is if your child doesn't get part A correct, but they guess and get part B correct, they'll only receive partial credit for part B. So it's really important for them to focus on that comprehension piece first, understanding what the question is asking and how they can answer it, and then going back to find their text evidence so that they can receive full credit for that. So that's a, any questions on this one? Okay. All right, and then there's a math sample question. What I like about the math part is there's a lot of explanations required. Some of our students don't like it that much because when they think about math, they think about adding numbers together, multiplying them, dividing them, choosing an answer, and moving on. The PARCC really wants our